West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, a bright morning it is from ARUA City. Today happens to be a new month. It's the first day in the month of July. I don't know what that means to you as the viewer, and I know definitely that should be having a source of either excitement or fear, because this is the 7th month. But for somebody out there who has not yet achieved anything in relation to the plans that he or she laid at the beginning of the year, that's where the problem could be coming from. But we are saying do not give up. The days are still very many. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, you may still achieve the plans that you want to solely attain this year, because when we talk about plans, definitely this is the economic transformation we are talking about, and the discussion that we are going to be solely having tonight, and this is with Job Richard MATUA, the Assistant Resident City Commissioner for ARUA City. I want to make sure that you understand the aspect of socio-economic transformation, because many times people do not understand what socio-economic transformation is all about, and the government keeps about talking about socio-economic transformation all the time. We hear the leaders, more so those affiliated to the yellow color, always talking about socio-economic transformation, and definitely somebody out there may not be understanding the aspect of socio-economic transformation, and that's where we are going to be having a discussion. But first things first, allow me to introduce the guest, which is also really where we are going to be having this discussion on, and he will be telling us more to that, because they have been appointed for that, and he is none other than Job Richard MATUA. It's a great pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother Faris Majid. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, my people of Western Nile, and good morning, my people of Northern Uganda and Uganda at large. MATUA Job Richard is my name, the Assistant Resident City Commissioner, ARUA City. Actually, my jurisdiction covers the whole city. I don't know whether you are aware, my brother Faris Majid.
Yes.
There was a confusion where I found some people very stressed that I have been transferred to Maracha. Actually, some of my people, like the city mayor, the city clerk, the people in the CISO's office, they were very concerned. Actually, very many people were concerned. In media, they were calling me that I have been transferred. I want to clarify it that I am not transferred. Actually, I am in charge of ARUA City as the Assistant City Commissioner. My jurisdiction covers the Central Division. It covers IVU Division. So we are two in that office with my brother Commissioner Edema Robert from Ajumane. So when Commissioner Bako Judith was transferred to ARUA City, she joined Commissioner Fiona Dibaireo to serve under Central Division. Meanwhile, we also have two commissioners who are serving under IVU Division. That is the Commissioner Dr. Draga Komboni Daniel and the Commissioner Poli Ongom. So to the people of ARUA City, Western Nile, you shouldn't get worried. I am in charge of ARUA City as the Assistant Resident City Commissioner.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That is where we want to begin off the discussions with, because among other reasons for which you got appointed, if I'm not mistaken, is to support government programs.
Yes.
And underlined also really where you are to champion the issues of socioeconomic transformation.
Yes.
What does this exactly mean?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before I would look into what you have asked me, which I want to discuss effectively, I want to put certain basic things forward. I always want to refer to Uganda is governed by the rule of law, my brother.
So this is the Quran of Uganda.
To the people of Uganda, I am always with the Constitution. I think you have seen it, one of the first books I carry every day and everywhere. Yesterday, I was officiating a mass of biology in Envara SS, and I carried it to tell the student. To the people of Uganda, Uganda is governed by the rule of law, and my brother Faris Majid and other people who are watching me, it is always very, very important for us to refer to this Bible of Uganda. The Constitution of Uganda has what we call structures. One of the things in the Constitution of Faris Majid is the directive principles of state policy and national objectives. Uganda has objectives that Uganda want to achieve, the aims that Uganda want to achieve. Objective 14 is a social and economic objectives, Faris Majid. And in that objective, general social and economic objective, the state shall endeavor to fulfill the fundamental rights of all Ugandans to social justice and economic development. That is my interest here. Economic development, and shall, in particular, ensure that all developmental efforts are directed at ensuring the maximum social and cultural well-being of the people. So the state, the government, the state is responsible to ensure that all developmental efforts are directed towards ensuring the well-being of Faris Majid, the well-being of all other Ugandans there. This is what the law is saying.
That brings me to the question.
Before you could ask that question, because you asked me a question and I wanted to lay you why we are doing so. Okay. Because we are ordered by the law, by the constitution.
Okay.
Part B, all Uganda state shall ensure that all Ugandans enjoy rights and opportunities and access to education, health service, clean water, work, decent shelter, adequate clothing, food security, pension, and retirement benefit. So I want to say that to the people who are watching me, I want to say that it is the duty of the state to direct all developmental efforts to ensure that there is the well-being of the people of Uganda, that the people of Uganda are doing well. That is the role of the state. Objective 14. Let's look at the next objective. That is the objective 29. Objective what? 29. The duties of citizens. The exercise and the enjoyment of rights and freedoms is inseparable from the performance of duties and obligations, and accordingly, my brother Faris Majid, it shall be the duty of every citizen to be patriotic and loyal to Uganda and to promote its well-being. B, to engage in gainful work for the good of that citizen, the family, the common good, and to contribute to the national development. So the constitution orders all Ugandans to engage in gainful work for the good of that person, for the good of the family, and for the common good of the country, of the community, and for national development. Okay. So working is a constitutional mandate for the people of Uganda.
That brings me to the question still I want to ask.
Now, yeah, you had asked me a question. Yes. You can ask the second question. I will answer them together. Let me ask the
same question now. There have always been fears that the office of the RCC keeps on being empowered. Yes. But the citizens are still not that empowered.
The citizens are not empowered.
And the burden of paying your salaries is on to the taxpayers. So the citizens themselves. Yes. And definitely that is also really in one way or the other going to affect the issue of socio-economic transformation. What can you say about this? Because many times people are thinking that you are being empowered, but then the citizens are not that empowered, and much as we talk about economic transformation,
yes, I am coming there. Now, accordingly, government has a policy under what we call the national ethical policies. The national ethical policy. My brother Faris Majid.
Yes, sir.
The people who are watching me now, it is ethical value of a Ugandan, according to the government policy. Number 4. To work hard for self-reliance. Faris Majid, are we there?
Yes, I'm getting you.
So it is the policy, it is actually our value as the people of Uganda that you must work hard for your self-reliance. Faris Majid, are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
I have quoted, now these are three regulations, all laws. Objective 14, Objective 29, and now the National Ethical Policy 4, hard work for self-reliance. So the people of Uganda, we are here to discuss socio-economic transformation. All this I'm saying is to lay ground, to give preamble, to give introductory remark to this important objective. Now, accordingly, government of National Resistance Movement, headed by General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has come up with what we call the agenda, the manifesto, NRA manifesto. So the manifesto has a 5 pillars, and the first pillar is creating jobs for all. Creating jobs and wealth for all. Creating jobs and wealth for all. You get me?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do we do this? How do we create jobs and wealth for all? You get me? This is through promotion of socio-economic transformation, which is one of the key things, by encouraging our people to engage in service industry, offering which can create jobs. I say that. Then ICT and the 4 pillars that the knowledge use of knowledge economy. So the president accordingly gave 4 pillars, 4 directives, 4 directions that we can therefore embrace as a government to try to ensure that we create wealth and jobs for all citizens. Now, I am here today to lay the issue of socio-economic transformation. You know, it is very, very important for me to bring this thing gradually for the benefit of the viewers and to put clear context to what we are doing. Sometimes when we jump and just begin to talk about socio-economic transformation, we may leave people very much confused. Now, my brother Faris Majid and the people who are watching me here, in an attempt to realize Vision 2040, which looks at transforming Uganda from peasant to modern and prosperous country within 30 years, the government of Uganda has given a direction, strategic direction in our advance, in our forward march to achieve, to attain, to realize Vision 2040. That strategic direction is now promotion of socio-economic transformation. You ask me, one of the duties for which I was sent here is to mobilize people to promote government program. I want to agree with you. I want to answer in affirmative. Yes, that's what I've been said. One of my main duties here is to come and mobilize all the people of ARUA City, all the people of Western Nile, all the people of Northern Uganda, all the people of Uganda to promote, to embrace, to promote, to cherish, to practice, to undergo social and economic transformation. You get me? So that together we can move to realize or to attain our Vision 2040. You get me?
Definitely.
So now what is socio-economic transformation? I must again clearly put this to the viewer, starting with my brother here,
yes,
Farisi Majid. My brother Faris Majid, when you hear about socio-economic transformation, those are 2 combined words. We have social transformation, economic transformation, married together to give socio-economic transformation. Social transformation, my viewer, is about transforming our people through education. Faris Majid.
Yes, sir.
When you educate somebody, that person is a value judgment, that person is a way of thinking, that person's mindset will change.
Sure.
You get me? So actually, by educating the person, you are attempting to change the mindset of that individual, that citizen. And when that person attains mindset change, then that is a social transformation. Now, our people in Western Nile here, even including ARUA City here, previously we are staying in a grass-thatched huts, housing. I want to tell our people it is high time we move away from those grass-thatched huts. These were the houses man built after living in the cave. Can you imagine?
Okay.
That's why it resembles the structure of the cave. You know, people are uniform. Your experiences dictate how you think.
But people are saying the iron sheets are still very expensive. Has the government done enough?
Now, this is where I am here now to empower them. I'm here to give them information. You get me?
As we're just remaining with 1 minute to the commercial break, I want to ask, has the NRM government done enough to make sure that people transform their lives economically?
I wanted to answer that question comprehensively by laying all the programs government has put for the people.
Okay.
Now, so I therefore want to say that economic transformation is people engaging in income generating activities, commercial agriculture. Instead of growing crops for consumption of family member, growing crops for the stomach. Anvu azo nyako fozol aleni nyazaro sende suzuko. We want our people to move from what the president called Echida Chonkani. I call it Echida Chonkan. This is the language of the people in the Botaleja, the Lugwere. Instead of growing crops for the consumption purpose, we now want you to grow crops for money, for pocket. Send the Azingazu Jeveni. So that is what we call socio-economic transformation. We want all the citizens, all households to do something that can bring income for that home, that can bring money. We want all Ugandans to move into money economy so that the people can be able to support their children, can be able to buy books for the children. Remember, schools are free, UPE, USCE, and UPOLE. But then the responsibility of the parent is to buy uniform, is to buy scholastic material. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
So therefore, we want every household to earn income. And I am here, the people of Uganda and the people of West Nile and the people of Arua City. I am here today to tell you how you can do something to get money, how you can gain income, how we can use our national wealth, the land, God-given wealth, to get money and to create prosperity. I am here for you. Immediately after the break, tune on and I will relay
all the fears. So that is where we are going to be stopping for the first commercial break of the show. This is still the KOKOLIRIKO live on West Nile TV channel 477 on Star Times and online across all our social media platforms where you can be able to access us at West Nile TV on that's YouTube, where you'll be absolutely watching us on Facebook, and not forgetting also Twitter and as well TikTok, where we also there, where you will be able to watch us each and every day of the month and of the year, because we are live each and every time. But for now, let's first have a short commercial breather that will be bringing us back still on a discussion related to that socio-economic transformation.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Sané, Griezmann, Lewandowski, and many more. Who is your European star? We are very familiar with all German stadia. Trust us to give you the best Euro experience affordably. Catch the matches live on NBS Sport, channel 255 on antenna or channel 199 on Dish Decoder on Star Times. We got your stars. This message is brought to you by Star Times Solar. Star Times Solar, more than just solar.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are still with the man, that is Matua Job Richard, Assistant Resident City Commissioner for Arua City, and we are discussing the issues related to socio-economic transformation, because many of the times people have been talking about socio-economic transformation, more so the leaders affiliated to the ruling government of NRM. Many of the times they have been talking about socio-economic transformation, but I do believe that many people out there should not understand this aspect yet, and how is this actually manifested. We are talking about the MIOGA, we are talking about the Paris Development Model, and and several other government initiatives which are yet to yield fruits. And this is also really where we are going to be also really engaging Job Richard Matua to tell us what the government of NRM is doing exactly to make sure that people take up this component of the socio-economic transformation seriously, because in Western sub-region we are still lagging behind. What is the government of NRM doing to make sure that we move away from that poverty in Western sub-region to at least also really and to compete with the other parts of the region and the country at large, because West Nile and Karamoja are still lagging behind, and this is also in the poverty index, and this is where we now want to bring you back to tell us what the government is doing and what the government has not been doing. And now with your coming to the Central Division and the ARUA city at large, what should we expect from you?
Yeah, thank you very much. My people of ARUA city, Western Nile, Northern Uganda, and Uganda at large. My brother Faris Majid has asked a very good question. What is the government doing to ensure that our people are able to socio-economically transform? You get me? One, remember I said socio-economic transformation has two aspects: the social transformation and economic transformation. Under social transformation, the government is promoting mass education of the people of Uganda. You get me? By providing UPE, Universal Primary Education, Universal Secondary Education, and UPOLED, which is basically for A level. In other words, every person in ARUA city, every person in Western Nile, every person in Northern Uganda and Uganda should at minimally attain senior 6, which is with the skill. You get me? To undergo social transformation. And again, the government is giving what we call 4,000, by the way, the government gives the 4,000 scholarship for government national merit in the universities and tertiary institutions. 4,000 for universities alone. And then the government goes ahead to give scholarship in even diploma institutions. So government is comprehensively undertaking educational drive, building schools. Government currently has a policy of building 1 city school per sub-county. Every sub-county, the government is putting a government city school, a government secondary school, and 1 government primary school per parish. All this is to undertake social transformation of our people. Under economic transformation, what is the government doing? The government has introduced very many government programs that our people can benefit from to be able to undergo income generating activities. To begin with, we have a Myoga fund, which is basically for some 18 categories of people, groups of people, including the border people, where they form a group, register a SACCO, and they are given money, which they access, they borrow at 80% per annum interest of 80%. Okay. Then we have the parish development model. I want to explain parish development model concept very well. Under parish development model concept, we are targeting the last mile citizen, that last mile Ugandan, Faris Majid, who does not even see 5,000 in a month. Okay. The Ugandans who don't even see 1,000 in a month. So that Ugandan who is basically doing subsistence agriculture, growing crops for consumption purpose, we are targeting that household. That household is to get 1 million. Then 1 million, they are supposed to use it in an agricultural venture, in a commercial agriculture venture, that household can invest to get money, to join money economy. So PDM is for the poor people. It is not for us, the civil servant, for people who are earning money. And for people who are earning money, you have a better program of government where you can even get better money. Do you know them? If you don't, listen carefully. Tune into Western Nile TV now and listen to your brother Matua bringing forward this good news. Good news to you. Then we have what we call agriculture credit facility. Have you heard of this money? Yes. Now, the money is lying in commercial banks to be borrowed by our people. Now, this is all group of people, whether civil servant or not. Somebody who is engaged in commercial agriculture can pick this money to improve on the in the farm, to improve on the income generating activities at a lower interest rate of 10% per annum. Okay. Not like the commercial bank interest rate of 22%, of 20% and above. Then we have small medium enterprise COVID recovery fund. Government has put 100 billion Ugandan cedi in our commercial bank lying there. This money has been there 3 years ago. This money is supposed to be picked by people who have capacity to borrow 5 million, 10 million, 100 million going forward. Now you see the parish development model was targeting the other lowest person, the last mile person, who only need 1 million to start from. But now this other one is now for the big guy, like the civil servant. This money is at the interest rate of 10 to 12% per annum. Can you see that? Now we have Goro money. Government has obtained a grant of 900 billion. 900 billion. This one is for women. Women of all groups, so long as you are doing something of income generating activity, so long as you are doing something commercially viable, you can get this money at an interest of 5 to 8% per annum. Can you imagine? Okay. All women, whether civil servant, whether police, whether teacher, whether a nurse, medical worker, whether a police officer, you can benefit from this grow money. Then we have UWEPO, again for women. Which is at the local government level here, at again an interest of 5 to 8% per annum. Okay. Then we have youth livelihood program, which is again available for all categories of youth, whether female or male. Then we have microfinance support center. You can organize yourself, say, as the West Nile TV employees. You form a circle, then you ask for support from microfinance support center. They can give you 50 million, 100 million, which you borrow locally here in your circle. All this government is doing to promote socio-economic transformation of our people. Okay. But before I could move away, now this is the government side. But now, what about the people? What can the people do?
Matua, before we get there, I believe these are actually good initiatives, and right from the Bonaba Gagawale youth livelihood, to mention, you realize that many of these government projects were also actually there to make sure that the people move out of the poverty line to at least the money economy, as the president always says. Where has the challenge been? Because earlier on I asked 2 questions.
Very good. You have asked me a very important question. That government has been running very many of this poverty alleviation program. Where has the challenge been? The challenge has been poor leadership and mindset of the people in northern Uganda. I want to say this very clearly. If you go to western Uganda district, particularly Bushenyi, when the government comes up with a program like this, the program is fully impressed by the political leader, the technical people in a local government, the religious leader, and the people. They sit down, analyze it, fully absorb the program, and Bushenyi has moved, and Bushenyi is now in upper middle income status. Can you imagine? For us here, we want to find the reasons as to why it will not work, or we want to actually see how we can even fail it. Now, so therefore, I want to encourage the people of northern Uganda, starting with the rural city, all the leaders, starting with the religious leader, the political leader, the cultural leader, the teachers, the civil servant. When government programs come for the good of the people, we must pick up this program, domesticate it, analyze it further, see how we can apply it in our own case here to see that it changes our people. So the difference has been the way the programs are being perceived by the leaders of the 4 categories I have given, and by the people in our region. For us, we have been seeing them as a negative thing instead of seeing them as a positive thing. Meanwhile, the people in western Uganda have been seeing them as a positive thing, and for them they have moved it and they have left us behind. And therefore, we are very behind, and my people, we don't even need to walk. We must actually run, and run faster. Okay. If we are to catch up with them.
Okay. What about my people of Eastern? Because they are still also really facing challenges with these government interventions.
Well, if they are doing the same thing we are doing, then they should follow the very example of the people in Western Uganda. I want to give one example here. I benefited from research done by a PhD holder called Kabunga. Kabunga Ismail is from Bushenyi. He did a research. My people of Western Nile, the biggest setback we have here, the greatest challenge we have in our region that we must deal with is socio-economic challenge. Even the medical emergencies we have in a rural regional referral hospital, majority of them are as a result of socio-economic challenge. 1 month back, a younger boy of 12 years old fell from mango tree at 6 a.m. and got multiple fractures and was the medical emergency in the regional referral hospital here. Now, Can you imagine? Did that child eat the previous night? Was that child expecting even breakfast that morning? Now you can see the socio-economic challenge at home has now spilled over and become a medical emergency. I see that. Even when you go in the family protection unit here, the karate the men are doing it with women. They are fools. The domestic violence we have in the family are majorly as a result of socio-economic challenge. Even criminal cases we have here, you have seen cases where younger people still use the charcoal stove and sell it for 1,000. Steal a phone and sell it for 2,000. All of those are socio-economic challenges we must deal with. And therefore, what can we do to get out of this problem? Let me tell this to my people. Because this is the major challenge. Number one, let us change the way we get money. Previously, the people in Western Nile, we are getting money using cotton in that Madiokono Greater Nebi area, and using tobacco in the Greater Arua area. Now, when tobacco left, we lost. When cotton also got done, we lost the economic base. Our people could not do something to get money. Now, money coming here becomes a challenge. I see that. Can we therefore migrate to what we call urban farming for those of my people in Arua city here? Allow me bring something there. My brother, I'm now on the gist of the matter. What can we do in these circumstances in which we find ourselves to get out of poverty?
Before you get the Matua, there's something I want to ask. When you look at West Nile sub-region, we do not have a particular cash crop that we had. Like we had tobacco and coffee.
Yes.
This is normal.
Yes.
Couldn't this also really be able to also really affect our socio-economic transformation activity?
This is what I am talking about. That when we lost the tobacco, by the time...
But this is also really because it had its own negative repercussions.
Yes,
because update, the farmers are still demanding.
No problem. When BAT exited the Ugandan market, so these other companies that came later, we are actually doing a wrong thing. Okay. There is a Continental that has really kept about 9 billion of the money of the people in Western Nile, demanding, which we are chasing, and actually Honorable Lee Oguzo Dennis has been consistently pursuing it in the parliament and in other government offices. We thank him for that. But please don't divert me from the real issue I've now mentioned for my people, Parichmaji.
Yes, sir.
At this point, I want to restrict you. Okay. Allow me now to talk to my people. My
but
people
I'll be interjecting.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
With due respect, yes. My people of Western Nile, there are things we can do to get money. The rain came here. If somebody planted just an acre of okra, bamio, you will get 1 million shilling. You will get even more than that. Do you know that okra is being looked for up to Kampala? People look for it. I hear it has a medicinal values. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't want to mislead you. But if you grow okra, bamio in Lubara, in less than 3 months, you will earn 1 million. I went to Amina's restaurant there on Adumi Road. You know Amina? Yes. Sometimes I like engaging with the ordinary people. I went there. There was a jiribi of this, a bundle of this size. A jiribi is a vegetable in Amarata's family. It is called the Ejobio in Uganda, and it is called what? Is it the bo? No, bo is also in Luo. Malakwanga in the Palabi in Luo. I will need to look for the name of. There is a Luo name for that. But jiribi in local language here. A bundle of jiribi of this size was sold at 3,000 shillings here in Arua city. In this rate, if you plant just an acre or 2 acres of jiribi, you are likely to harvest 1 million. Can you not pay school fees for the child? Can such a family not pay for uniform? Can such a family not buy scholastic material like pens and books for the children? So our poverty is the poverty of the mind, my people of Western Nile. So now, but please, I am still talking. I told you, I've respected you. I now want to tell my people.
Make sure that mindset changes so that we get to understand. Because
if you go to Maracha, there are some leaders like Dr. Toma Liti, like Mr. Aduma Justas, even Mr. Mawa Kolil from Maracha East there. Even Mr. Obeta, Mr. Obeta.
Moses, yes.
Obeta, that the name is it?
Moses,
yes, I know him as the Obeta, the Boga chairman of all traverses. Now, they are distributing seeds for our people. To buy a seed of Osubi to plant 2 acres, you don't even need 20,000. Okay. You don't need it. And yet from there, you will harvest 1 million. You get me? So our people must stop thinking about tobacco as the only way of getting money. thinking about cotton as the only way of getting money. Now all crops are cash crops in Uganda. The tomatoes sold in ARUA main market here are coming from Masaka and Mitiana. The onions sold in ARUA main market here are coming from Tanzania, are coming from Kigezi. Can you imagine? To make it worse, onja here, the hot pepper is coming from Kiriadongo, Rwanda. Jesus of Nazareth and Muhammad of Makkah, peace be upon him. That we cannot even grow piripiri here, onja here, and we want to import onja here from Rwanda. I went to Desert Breeze the other day to have lunch. They brought for me a nice goat's meat, goat's meat and a enyasa kalo. The food really look appetizing. Then I asked for hot pepper, only for the hot pepper to bring for me. And when I read the name of the hot pepper that the lady brought for me, made in Kigali, Rwanda, I lost the appetite. I even refused to eat that hot pepper. How can you serve me hot pepper from Rwanda when here in Uganda hot pepper can grow? Can't we grow these things here? All vegetables we eat in Western Nile here are coming from outside Western Nile. Now, meat coming from outside Western Nile, milk coming from outside Western Nile. In a rural city here, we eat 1,500 trays of eggs per week. They are coming from Kampala and Wakiso. Who said we used to go to Kampala to bring eggs? We used to go to Kampala, my people, to bring clothing, to bring Susie. Now we are going to bring even eggs in Kampala. This is the absurdity I want to deal with here. Faris Majid, I have a target.
Okay.
If I stay in a rural city here in 2 years, in 2 years from now, there are certain things that I will not allow them to be imported in a rural city here. How will I not allow them? I'm not going to use dictatorship. I will encourage massive production of these things here to the extent that they are very available. They are even much cheaper than what we import from out.
Okay.
So I came up with a man called I came up here. I came here with a man called Mr. Mandua Charles. Did you hear about Mr. Mandua Charles?
We went with you to Arua's regional referral hospital.
Yes, and with him. I request Western Nile TV to bring the man here. My people of Western Nile, Mr. Mandua has given us a bulletproof. Remember, I told you, for me, I am John the Baptist, clearing the way, telling you to change your heart, to change your mind. Behind me are now saviors, a topic. Mr. Amandua Charles is one of the saviors. Mr. Amandua Charles has come up with an organic, homegrown concept of local chicken value chain. Do we know that this is a local chicken? We
Yes, sir.
Our people, in fact, I want to bring this in some aspect of Lobara briefly. Amade akua tamane tanbadrio de eresendeni. Amando eji mane you are the wakini amecho dongoni nye ukarika de modri gwalo michwa udizo elialo echa elefona toruta ungoni. Amando emu imbata ni tokina udini bakatajwa go weriachi bakaini nyaka azifevini ndi bakaini afa ima biosecurity baka afadite anyapapele obolo pele lezo inyazo de sibaka ngoda sechi kakimu badakaruko baka ini aroti amade pati bi losko pati ma ola de kefe azo ivu de kofuzo obuyimaliare baka ofute audi echo sende isu amanidia. By the way, that concept of 10 hen and 1 cock, you can multiply it to 3,500.
That is a possibility.
Now, it is not a possibility. It is a proved, tested concept, and Amandua is doing it. Now, even the treatment is organic, done by the local plant materials. Now, I can tell you, Faris Majid, with that concept, in Western Nile here and northern Uganda, if you have 70 big chicken, you exchange it with a goat. 70 goats, you exchange it with a cow. In a year, with that concept, a family, a household can move from 10 hens and 1 cock to 10 cows.
That is a possibility we are talking about.
Please, now, a moment, let me lay this thing very well. Mr. Mandua is always here on the radio, and I will bring him here on Western Nile TV to teach you how we can do this thing. By the way, the food we are talking about, it's not a food we are going to buy, spend a lot of money. Our local chicken eat less, and they are resistant to our climate here, the condition here. Now, if you get a jerrycan, a 20-liter jerrycan, you cut the top part, you mix the cow dung with the dry spear grass and you put it in the jerrycan. You invert it. Termites will come and fill up the jerrycan. You just go and pour the termite for the chicken and for protein. Which money have you spent?
That is
Matua has come up with a concept where we can locally grow caterpillar to feed the chicken for protein. How we can mix the local cereals in a formula, a special formula to feed the chicken.
Okay.
Now we not only feeding them with the food we give ourselves, no, also releasing them to go and hustle in a restricted area, which you fed. A restricted area where they can go and get worms, they can go and get insects, where they can go and hustle for themselves.
We are just left with 3 minutes, and I know from all the things you have mentioned, there is a reality.
A moment, please.
We are remaining with just 3 minutes. I want to ask this question. It is in relation to mindset. How can we make sure that the poor attitude and the poor mindset of our people changes? Because we want to make sure that we move away from the poverty index and the bar line where we are down there to at least also up. How can we make sure this becomes possible?
Thank you very much. And thank you for reminding me. I thought we still had more time.
Yeah, just remaining with 3 minutes.
How can we change the mindset? We should give our people for mindset change. The other day, I picked 10 opinion leaders from my clan. I brought them in a Hotel Lesuba here for exposure learning for mindset change. And then we should take these people to the demonstration farms which we have around. Okay. There is a ladder farm in Kochi sub-county in Yumbe. These groups, they are younger men who started with just 5 goats. Now they have 300 goats. In Odramachako here, goats are selling up to 350,000, 300,000. That if you took 20 goats in Odramachako market there, you are going to earn 6 million, 7 million. Can such a family fail to buy clothing for the children? Fail to pay school fee? No. There is this lowest demo farm of my socioeconomic darling called Violet here in Uruko or Ufisel. That lady, I encourage you to bring her here. There's the Ramizi farm here in Imuni of my sister, Madame Annie Hope Anguyo. 1.5 acre. She's doing piggery, she's doing poultry, she's doing greenhouse, she's growing tomatoes, she's growing sweet pepper, this green pepper. She has a rabbit. She even has a factory there of value addition. On a piece of what? On 1.5 acre piece of land, and is earning millions of shillings here, just here in the morning. Then we have this factory, this Bazoki Company Limited factory here in Pajuru, Diwala Sale, where they are producing soap, Vaseline, Jik. Here, bar soap, the best bar soap is produced here by the CEO Isaac Oguta, my brother Isaac Oguta from Lamila. Now, he's even employing 28 people. Now, those are the things we are talking about. You get it? 28 people, and the majority of which are women. I want to thank them very sincerely for that. And I requested that the Western TV could go there and profile. In Lamila there is the Mr. Wole Patrick. Wole is the farm just in Okokoro there. Can you imagine? Wole is doing dairy farming there. He's doing it very well there. Even the locals are there. They just bypass and they cannot go and see it there. Can you imagine?
That calls for.
So therefore, I ask our people, grow vegetables, grow rare chicken, local chicken for money, rare goats for money, rare pigs for money, like the Annie and this one here. This sister of mine, Violet, the socioeconomic darling of mine, is doing very well. Then please, like the ladder farm in a Kochi sub-county, that are rarely got. Actually, myself, RCC Matua, the smaller money I am going to earn, you know, public money is always modest enough. I am a laboratory rat farmer. When you see me dressed in a suit like this, these suits I bought them by selling laboratory rat. Not from corruption. Not corruption. I hate it with the venom. Now, before you go away, last year you never sat 18,000 senior 60 students and brought a rat. Each student was supposed to have 1 rat. We were only 10 rat farmers, one of which has died. May his soul rest in peace. Musinguzi Robert from Chimanya. Each rat we sold at 50,000. Now you multiply 18,000 by 50,000, 900 million was shared by 10 rat farmer.
Okay.
So is that not money?
That's a lot
So
of
when
money.
you see the RCC is a man, don't think he has used the public fund.
Okay,
no.
that is where we are coming to the end of the discussion. But how I wish we also really touch something on also really that is a police reshuffles, where Enanga was solely replaced as the police.
Can I answer that very fast?
What can you say about that? And really, what memories do you have maybe during his reign, where it could be a strength, it could be a weakness? In just 1 minute, as we get some discussion.
My people, reshuffles in government offices are a normal thing. Afande Enanga has served very well in his office, and he has been promoted to deputy director of Interpol. Actually, he has earned a promotion. So the people out there who are sympathizing with him, instead congratulate him for being promoted. So also congratulate the new person who has come in. These are public offices which an individual cannot hold in perpetuity. I am here at RCC, next time it could be Faris Maji. Next time it could be you out there watching me. Okay. I thank you very much.
All right,
with deep love for God and my country.
All right, that is it, and we are coming to the end of today's discussion that in relation to the issue of socioeconomic transformation, and I hope you as the viewer had the very best when it comes to the issues related to socioeconomic transformation, which many times people have been confusing and others have not been also really understanding what this is all about. And many times we have seen the brothers that is with the ruling government of NRM also most often talking about this socioeconomic transformation, and I hope today Matua was able to digest the discussion, and I hope you also really as the viewer enjoyed the discussion. For now, we are stopping there, and we shall be continuing with other discussions later on.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Sané, Griezmann, Lewandowski, and many more. Who is your European star? We are very familiar with all German stadia. Trust us to give you the best Euro experience affordably. Catch the matches live on NBA Sport, channel 255 on antenna or channel 199 on Dish Decoder on Star Times. We got your stars. This message is brought to you by Star Times Solar. Star Times Solar, more than just solar.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are back into the discussion that's in relation to also the KOKOLIRIKO live show. And it being a Monday, we usually stretch back up to Friday and also give you a recap of some of the stories that could have transpired over the weekend and also on Friday as well. But really, I must inform you, in the world of sports, a lot is happening, but we shall be doing that later on towards the evening of the show, and that is where I will be informing you in relation to what is happening in the world of sports. Remember, the ball games too are already going on. That is in Koboko, but really we shall be able to keep you also really updated on that. And remember, over the weekend still, we also did see games going on. These are for the traditional schools. I will also really still be letting you know about that, but definitely first thing first, one of those biggest stories over the weekend was actually the introduction of, that is Eddie Kenzo by Fiona Nyamutoro, the Minister for Energy. And this has also really drawn a lot of also really discussions on both online. This is via social media and also really in the public domain, and many people are actually now talking about this. But really one thing I must say is love is actually a beautiful thing, and this is also really where we did see with the introduction, and many people also really saw the photos of how life should be, and that is where we're saying get yourselves the right people who are going to also really introduce you, and once you find the best partner, definitely that is where you are going to also really enjoying life. And this is where what we did see from Fiona Nyamutoro, who actually identified and also described Eddie Kenzo, the musician, also really as the best man in there, and this is now official. And one song that could also be dedicated to them is now the official song, because this is now official, and we are now waiting for maybe other people and maybe other functions. It could be now the official wedding, because definitely that is where we also want to see the traditional marriage also really going on. It could be Nebi, as this is also really one thing we did see happening, and where she did ask Nebi, are you ready? And with the pictures, as you can clearly see on your videos there, that is where the smile is. Definitely you see love, and this is where we are saying we must always pray for the best. And this is where, if at all we also really get ourselves the right partners, definitely such smiles on the screens is what we are going to be seeing. And that is where we are saying, if at all you have not gotten the right person, do not give up, continue praying and continue also really searching, so that at the end of the day you are going to be getting that smile you are seeing right on the screens in there. And now the relationship between Eddie Kenzo and Fiona Nyamutoro is now official, but really many people are now going to be asking what exactly and when exactly will be the other traditional marriage also ceremony going on. This is where we're also really expecting where people from Masaka should be jetting to Nebi, because this is also really where we are going to be seeing that also really intermarriage going on. And intermarriages are usually good, and this is also really something we must always encourage, because at the end of the day we are all Africans. And talking about Pan-Africanism, definitely that is also really something we should always focus and also really talk about, because definitely if at all I move to Toro and also really want to get somebody from there, it will have no problem. And also really if at all my sister from also really maybe in Karamoja is to come and get married to somebody in West Nile sub-region, definitely it wouldn't have any problems. And that is where we're saying such marriages also really need to be talked about and need to be encouraged. And definitely that is where also really the public domain over the weekend also had that topic of discussion, where many people are now also really talking about the marriage and also the introduction by Eddie Kenzo. That's to the family of Fiona Nyamutoro. It did go on in Kampala. Definitely we are now waiting for the function for the locals also really to enjoy, because definitely when we talk about introductions, these also really have very few people. But when we talk about the weddings now, this is where people can be able to move while pocketing the chilies or the piripiris, as that's already they can be able to dance, and where the people at the attendance also really have no boundaries. That is where also really we are going to be following up on, and that is what we want, and that's also really where our people could also really as well be wanting. And we are saying the right time will be able to come if at all the introduction is done. Definitely this is really where we are now going to be following up. And for those who have been having issues, who have been having doubts, it is now official. Definitely the relationship has now been known, and we are going to be also really be keeping you informed if at all there's any development in relation to that. And I know this could also really be coming with as a source of excitement, more so for the fans of the two parties, because definitely ID Kenzo has its own his own fans, and then definitely the other group of also the other faction, which I wouldn't also really want to touch on, are also really still saying a lot in relation to this, and many of them actually compare the relationship. This is between this one and the previous one, but we are saying the man is now happy. The smiles show it all, and this is where we also have to pray for the very best. If at all you haven't gotten the right person, do not give up. It is also really just a matter of time. At the end of the day, definitely you are going to solely be getting the right person, and with prayers it's possible, and we are saying do not give up if at all you haven't gotten the person yet. And now looking at other stories this morning, we did see also really yesterday the dropping of that is Enanga as police spokesperson, and the long-serving police spokesperson, that is Fred Enanga, has been replaced in the first major reshuffle by Abbas Byakagaba, who is now the Inspector General of Police, and this was where we did see Enanga replaced by Assistant also Commissioner of Police Kituma Rusoke, who previously also headed the Kampala Capital City Authority law enforcement team, and definitely he will be bring a new set of experience, I believe, because definitely he comes from KCA, one of those challenging activities. Also really, I believe he will also really be bringing that experience from KCA now to also really police in there, and that would be quite well. And consequently, Enanga has been taken to Interpol as the deputy director in there, and I believe this is a promotion, just like earlier Richard Matua said it, and definitely this is where we must also really praise him for. But definitely many people are going to be missing Enanga. I believe he has created his own fans, definitely who would always wish to listen to him during times of critical times in there. But really, this is also really where we are going to be yet following up on, and definitely I believe the stories and also really the address is one thing that is going to be missed, but definitely also really we welcome the new person, and we hope he will also fit in that too very, very well, because Enanga must have done its part, and where he also really failed, we are saying that is also really where we need to forgive, because definitely he has done his part, and he leaves a legacy which at the end of the day we are all going to be cherishing, because he has inspired many today, and many people actually inspired that into public relations as also really as one due to also really the fact that Enanga actually also really encouraged them and also really motivated them, and definitely this is where sources of inspiration must also not be taken lightly, because at the end of the day we get to realize that he did his part, and definitely many people are also already out there going to miss him for that. And I remember the biggest scenario was during the time of drones flying Kampala, and how he came to also really talk to the public. Definitely I will never forget that, and I will also really miss him for that, and that is one thing also really we are going to also really be missing him for. And the new office, we also really welcoming the new person, as we hope to also really engage him. Definitely that would also really be quite well, and he's credited for defending the police even during hard times, and despite the nature of his job that on many occasions also really pits him against the public as he defends police. We did see Enanga has been a darling to many, especially on media, and this is where we are going to also really be missing him for, and that is one thing also really we need to leave that discussion with, and we hope also really you as the viewer is definitely also really going to be missing him for that. And we are now also looking at another story this morning. Muslims commemorate 129 years of return, that's of Prince Mbogo from exile, is another story that we are seeing on the past morning, where Muslims from various places gathered at the main mosque in Chibuli to participate also in the annual dua to remember the 129 years since Prince Nuhu Mbogo Chabasinga returned from Zanzibar in there. And this is also the one story that we are seeing on the past morning. And Prince Mbogo is still a cause of pride for many Muslims because of his significant contributions, especially in defending their rights and implementing the Islamic laws in there. And during this dua, every speaker praised the good deeds and achievements of Prince Nuhu Mbogo, and Sheikh Yusuf Muhammad Balinda Skadi from Lango requested that the dua in memory of President Mbogo be decentralized and held in other parts of the country as well, as he also really as many people also wish to participate but cannot make it to Kampala in there. And decentralization is actually one thing, and this is where I believe also the Chibuli faction also really could be able to also really move the dua from where it is to also other parts. And definitely if it comes to ARUA, we are going to be happy, because many people from different parts are also going to be coming for this dua as well. Additionally, Supreme Administrator Sheikh Muhammad Galabuzi urged Muslims to engage in activities that the building of Islam at all times, and to avoid those who misuse Islamic resources, but rather work towards their growth. In Prince Kasim Nachivinge reminded the Muslims of the history of also Nuhu Mbogo, noting that when he returned from exile, He promoted Islam without participating in any further battles. He said this should also be a lesson for Muslims that sometimes people are dragged into wars meant to destroy them in there. And this day is observed every year with also a major dua at Chiburi Hill to remind Muslims of their faith and also address various issues in there. And that is one thing also we did see happening. And we hope also those who attended the dua pick this message very, very seriously in there. And that is one thing also at the end of the day that would also be quite well for us to also do to tack on very much, because if at all we not also talk about this, definitely that wouldn't also be quite well. And we are still moving on, and so many issues also happened over the weekend, because on Mondays definitely we stretch up to Friday, because on Friday is our last day. We did not also have that chance, and this is where we stretch back on Mondays up to Fridays. This is definitely also to keep you informed and updated of what is happening within West Nile and the whole country and the world at large, because our discussions are not limited only to what is happening locally in West Nile sub-region, but also really nationally and internationally. And this is where also really we need to also really make sure that we talk about issues that also really unfolded over the weekend in India. And still relatedly, Interreligious Council launches tourism packages as Catholic shrines. Also really, that's something also really we are seeing on the past morning, where the Interreligious Council of Uganda has launched the Martyrs Trail from Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine to Namgongo Martyrs Shrine, with intentions to also really give tourists and other visitors yet another experience in there. An initiative which will have priced leisure activities and tourism packages like cycling, guided walking, and also the driving at religious sites, aims at attracting more visitors to promote faith-based tourism in there. And faith-based tourism is actually what is happening in Namugongo, where sometimes we have people who come as pilgrims and also really as tourists at the same time, and this is also really coming with its own advantages. And this is where sometimes they are coming with money as foreign exchange in there. And now one aspect under tourism which we could actually promote as a sector under tourism is actually the faith-based tourism, where people would come to watch what is happening in Uganda. It could be Gaddafi National Mosque, where somebody out there could have heard about Gaddafi National Mosque and comes to Uganda and pays some money to see Gaddafi National Mosque. And this would be quite well, where somebody from Asia would hear about Namugongo Catholic Shrine and just walk in and pay some money to also see what is happening in there. And that would be quite well. And we are saying these are things also we need to champion, we need to embrace as a country, and also talk about, because faith-based tourism would actually earn a lot of money for this country, and that would also really be a blessing, and one thing also really we would also really look forward to also really having. And for long, the Martyrs shrines in Uganda have acted as sacred places and attracted pilgrims and other Christians from all over the world in India. However, because of sensitivity to ensure that tourism does not also disrupt religious activities or offend local communities, there has been a lack of effective marketing and promotion of religious sites, limiting also really awareness and interest among potential tourists also in there. And Reverend Kanain Nyaka, the regional representative for Africa Global Peace Foundation, says there is need to promote religious sites and create enabling environment to attract potential masses in there as well. We did see Herbert Biarohanga, a tourist consultant, says they have trained 50 religious guides, and yet also to train more than 200 of them also to carry out activities like cycling, guided also walking, biking, and driving from one religious also site to another as a way of popularizing faith-based tourism in there. And that is one thing also I feel we'll talk about. Lazarus Okrut, the programs officer at the Interreligious Council of Uganda Tourism Center, says activities going forward will be capturing significant areas in the Martyrs story to earn from also really that has not been the case. And this is where also really they feel this is going to be changing and changing that narrative also really in the best way in there. We did see Father Wachek Man alias Malay, the director of Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine, called upon Ugandans to prioritize and promote cultural tourism to earn revenue also really for them also really, and other than benefiting from these places spiritually in there. And that is one thing also really we did see happening. And he also went on to reveal that Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine will put up to 16-meter statue of Jesus Christ to attract believers and tourists also really in there. And this is one thing also really we hope we will also really be working for you, because we want to make sure that also the faith-based tourism tourism is actually another aspect that needs to be promoted in there, because if at all we do not promote it, then definitely that would not be quite well for us to also talk about. And that is one thing also we need to talk about. And today we also going to be talking about other issues. And now, it being 1st of July, we already into the new financial year, but the budget will also be still going to be passed again. And definitely this is also another thing that we shall be able to come back tomorrow and talk about. We want to make sure, as we enter the new financial year, we also really have to pray that it comes with a lot of blessings, and this new financial year also really should also really come with an impact. And this is also really into your pockets, where we need to pray hard so that already we get something small for our pockets. Earlier on, we were talking about socio-economic transformation with Job Richard Matua. I hope also really you enjoyed the conversion right from the time it began, and up this hour of the morning we are still also really talking about. And now to talk about politics. Remember also really we are seeing a politics going on, where we are seeing the different political groups or individuals also really going to their potential voters at the grassroots at the moment, much as the electoral roadmap hasn't also given time for people to start campaigning, but now others are already into consultations. Recently we did see the divided FDC also really finding its lost love, where people would say the FDC has lost it all. And this also really given the fact that in some of the areas they have not been able to pull the numbers, but we did see them also really pulling back the numbers and showing that indeed in Bugisu they are still the strongest opposition group in there. And this is one thing we did see happening over the weekend still, where the huge crowd also really pulled by the opposition Forum for Democratic Change party in Bugisu at the weekend has drawn mixed reactions also really from the members of the public, with some residents saying the party is back on its feet. That's in the sub-county also really in there, and the sub-region also really in there. And the handlers of FDC supporters, clad in their blue party color, are thronged the cricket grounds in Bale City, cheering and chanting the names of party president and the leaders, that is Patrick Ambure Toboy and Secretary General Nathan Nandala Mafabi also already, as they took the stage in there. And the mammoth crowd also contrasted sharply with the scant one that graced a similar consultative meeting called by the Katonga rivals under the de facto leader, that's the Colonel retired Kiza Besj, early last month in there. And with Mr. Hamza Wamono, a researcher and political analyst, say the contrasting crowds with the litmus test has proven Nandala Mafabi as a force to reckon with FDC party and in the sub-region also in there. And that is one thing also we did see. And many people also have been talking about the fallout between Dr. Kiza Besj and FDC rival leadership at Najananku became to play in November last year, where after Dr. Kiza Besj criticized them for allegedly receiving dirty money from President Museveni for the 2026 general election in there. And that is one thing also that has been drawing a lot of contestation that is within the FDC, and which has already turned upon some of the members. And we are now saying that has been having its own negative repercussion, and to address these matters before 2026 would actually be well. And I believe they are on course, and that's in terms of really making sure that these matters do not also continue in there. Mr. Robert Wanambua, another political analyst, said although in the 2021 general election the popularity of the FDC had won also in other parts of the country, in Bugishu, especially in Siroko district, the party retained its hold because Mr. Nandala Mafabi is still viewed as the kingmaker and the pro-people leader in there, that's in the area. In the Mr. Nandala Mafabi, who is also the MP for Budadiri West in Siroko district, is also the chairperson of all-powerful Bugishu Cooperative Union, which is also known as the BCU. In the 2021 polls, the NRM lost, that is to FDC, all its top slots, that's in the last parliamentary and local council elections, that is in Siroko district. And those who lost included Mr. Vincent Waboya, who is incumbent MP, also who was incumbent MP and NRM flag bearer for Budadiri East, that is FDC's also the Isaiah Senoga Trans team, and the NRM flag bearer for Budadiri West, also the Kosea Wambaka, also lost to Mr. Nandala in there. And that is one thing also that shows FDC still has Bugishu as its stronghold, that's more so in areas of Sironko in there. And that is one thing also we did see happening over the weekend. And now this could also be having its own signs and also the message passed in there. And that is one thing also we did see happening in there. And I really feel we need to talk about these issues, because if we are told we don't talk about these issues, then definitely that would also really mean a lot in there for us to also really understand. And one thing also I must also keep you informed of is that we did see also that happening over the weekend, and so many of these activities also really continue to happen, and we also really going to be keeping you still informed about that. And that's one thing also we need to also talk about, if at all we also also let know about also these issues here, and that is one thing also we need to continue. And today also really we are going to be seeing URA operations returning after the long also 6-month period that also really elapsed yesterday at 11:59, and today that means also the URA will be returning back fully on the roads. And how safe is the bike you're riding? And this is also something also we need to ask, because many times this has been the one causing challenges, the numberless motorcycles, where we have often been seeing that also causing the rift among the taxpayers and also the tax collection body in there. And really that is one thing also we need to also talk about. And the question you should be asking yourself this morning is your bike a registered one? If not, what have you done to make sure that it is registered? And this is also really something at the end of the day that would also be quite well for us to understand, and we are looking forward to that, because today we are going to be seeing impounding going on, and the enforcement team will also be back on the road after being off for a long period of time. And this is already and this followed the January incident where we did see a number of lives being lost at more so in areas of Madiokolo district and Koboko, and that also called for a halt of a 6-month period, which was already as a waiver where motorcycles have been registered for half price, and where motorcycles have been going on at up to 800,000, and now the prices are going to be going back towards 1.2. I don't know how prepared you are as a citizen, and if at all your bike is not registered, what are you doing to make sure that it is registered, because the promotion period has now ended. But we are saying, much as the promotion period has ended, definitely that shouldn't also make you get comfortable, because if at all you got comfortable with riding that numberless motorcycle, now the operations are going to be returning back. Are you going to be making sure that you register your bike? These are things we need to understand, and we need to talk about as we continue with the show. And this is the KOKOLIRIKO live show. We are all the time 477 and online across all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are there. We also there on Twitter, and not forgetting YouTube, plus also TikTok, where we also there. And we hope to keep you informed and educated and entertained at all times. And as West Nile Television, and that is also given the fact that our mandate remains to enlighten the region, and we cannot be able to do that alone. As the viewer, also already you are a stakeholder, and that is where we do not take you for granted. We do not take it lightly, and you keeps watching us each and every day from 7 o'clock up to 9 o'clock from Mondays to Fridays. We are always appreciative of you. But really, as we get to move on, remember there's a meeting also that will be going on, and this is also where now somebody could be understanding and want to understand inside the meeting that is between Museveni and Lango leaders already in there. And the Ministry of Gender and Social Development has already gathered engineer Dr. Michael Moses Odongo Kune as the paramount chief of Lango in there. But really, President Museveni met also with the hundreds of leaders also from Lango sub-region on Friday to intervene also the Lango cultural leadership dispute. And this was during a dialogue at State House in Tebe, during also the head of state, also the clan leaders also shared their issues also and how they feel also in there. This is both for the aggrieved and the winners also in the Ministry of Gender and Labour and Social Development has already gathered the engineer Dr. Michael Moses Odongo Kuneas, also Wanyachi, who is the paramount chief of Lango ethnic group in there, and who will be installed as the new Wanyachi, the paramount chief on that's November 2nd of 2024 in there. And Dr. Kune was elected to his position on March 2024 in there, where he garnered also really 1,692 votes, defeating Dan Okello, former lecturer at Makerere University, and Guna clan head, who received only 139 votes in there. There were also 27 invalid votes. And on June 14th, Minister Betty Amongo Ngom directed the Executive Director of Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation to gazette Dr. Kune statues as Lango cultural leader in there. And that is one thing also we did see a conflict resulting from that, and how best actually has this matter being addressed. And yesterday on Friday, we did see the meeting going on between the cultural leaders of Lango sub-region, also really meeting the head of state, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni in there. And we hope now that we'll also really be able to address the concerns and the problems also that have been amongst the leadership in there. And that is where we are coming to the end of these discussions, but we are still continuing. Our final destination remains 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock, that's when the news bulletin in Lubarati will be coming through. But for now, let's have this important quick breather as we bounce back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Sané, Griezmann, Lewandowski, and many more. Who is your European star? We are very familiar with all German stadia. Trust us to give you the best Euro experience affordably. Catch the matches live on NBS Sport, channel 255 on antenna or channel 199 on Dish Decoder on Star Times. We got your stars. This message is brought to you by Star Times Solar. Star Times Solar, more than just solar.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial breather. We are back. This is still a KOKOLIRIKO live show on West Nile TV channel 477 and online across all our social media platforms. We hope you as the viewer kept it right, locked until the time we are also recording with the show. We do not take it for granted. We are always appreciative of you as we are now towards the evening of the show. And we did also really see on a sad note where a gunman walks into home, shoots 4 dead. Also really as another story that we are seeing on the past reported this morning, where at least 4 members of the same family were shot dead and 5 others critically injured. That is in Vubu village in Buwaya sub-county in Mayuge district. Also where we did see witnesses say gunman walked into the home of Isaac Isabire Mudasi, a 42-year-old who was found also really rearing chicken for visitor, and opened also really a fire on the family. And that's something also we did see also happening in there as this man was preparing the chicken for his family, for his visitor in there. According to Mirabu Namukose, who had also already visited Mudasi and 2 of his daughters, that's Lesika Fuko, 15 years old, Resti Kantono, 13 years old, and Nicholas Mudasi, a 6-year-old, were all killed on spot, while his wife and 4 other family members sustained serious injuries in there. And the gunman, whose identity has not yet been established by press time, spared only a visitor who was at the scene in there. And the attack is alleged to be linked also really to a long-standing land dispute that has been ongoing in there. And that is also really where this local council 2 chairperson, Mr. Nasibu Babisen Nani, also said there has been contestation over land for a stage also really period of time and hasn't also really been resolved in there. And police are investigating the motive behind the attack in there. And the team led by District Police Commander Agnes Anyu visited the scene with Keno unit. That's also to gather evidence in the neighbors and friends described the deceased as a peaceful and hardworking man who was also loved by everyone in the community in there. And the injured are receiving also treatment at Mulago Hospital, where they are fighting for their lives at the moment. Now, the bodies of the deceased also have been taken to Mayuge Health Center for mortuary, also awaiting post-mortem examination in there. And police are urging anyone with information now to come up and also feed them, so that solely the perpetrators and those also persons behind this attack can also be identified in this incident. Has, however, raised concerns about the escalating violence, and residents are calling for greater security measures to also intervene and address such tragedies which also occurring and also in the area in there, and now to also avoid such problems in future. And I believe that is where we also have to work with one another and also support security in there in terms of also addressing this matter in there. And also over the same weekend, we did see also the vehicles in Prime Minister convoy also involved in an accident. That's in Kalungu also in there, and the 2 vehicles in Prime Minister Robin Anabanja's convoy was involved in an accident on Friday evening, and the accident occurred, that's at Luera Swamp in Kalungu district, as Miss Nabanja was turning to Kampala after an official event in Luengo district. And according to Southern Police Regional Police spokesperson Twaha Kasirye, the 2 vehicles, Toyota Hilux registration number UG0861Z and a UG number plate 1052Z, both were part of the convoy. And the police say the driver of the Hilux, that is which numbers UG0861UZ, started also to overtake a truck carrying matoke, but abandoned the overtake on noticing another vehicle coming from in front in there. And however, attempt to return to the lane was not successful, as another vehicle in the convoy hit from behind, forcing the driver to lose control in there. And Kasiri also told journalists that the scene was visited by traffic police in Kanungu, and also the accident was also identified in serious nature, was already in there. And according to police, woman in the convoy whose identity was not readily available to press sustained also serious injuries and was taken to Nkozi Hospital in Mpiji district in India. The 2 vehicles have been told that police, that's in Lukaya Town Council, and the Prime Minister was not affected and continued with that journey to Kampala after a brief delay in there. And this is according to information from sources in there. Ms. Nabanja is also really going to be officiating government programs in districts of Chotera and in PG for the national also farmers mobilization in there. And that is where we're saying for those who are moving and traversing the country to make sure that they have an impact, we are saying and we are always praying for God to also really protect you on these roads, because sometimes also really due to overspeeding we lose control also really as a challenge in there. And that is one thing also really we need to always pray for, more so people who are on these roads. And that is one thing also really we need to talk about. And we all now look at the commissioners who received the money. One also came out to say that I received the money and received 400 million service award, but I gave it to the groups. And that's where we did see the MP, that's the Prosi members, also really lamenting over that also really over the weekend in there, where we did see Rubanda woman MP who is also really battling the churches, also really were also really coming out to also really admit receiving the money and also really sharing it with the electors in there. Mr. Babazi also and 3 other backbench commissioners, among others whom include that Matthias Impuga, Esther Foyochan and Solomon Sirwanya, facing intense scrutiny of the taxpayers' dissolution by a fireball of corruption in the country legislature in there. And that's one thing also we did see happening in there. But really the question that we should be also really asking ourselves this early morning, is it right for people to obtain this money? If at all, yes. Why should they and how should they use the money? If not, why shouldn't they obtain the money? Because at the end of the day, our politics is also demanding a lot. Look at our politics, where you would also not organize any sitting without also what we call sitting allowance in there. And I believe this is only adding a lot of pressure more so on these politicians, and we also the money that they obtain. Definitely, how should the electors also avoid that? Because I'm saying, this is my own opinion, it could be able to differ from yours, but I'm saying it is also the voters who are causing and also promoting the corruption among the leaders in there, because many of times people do not also really want to see the MPs and the other leaders pass near them without leaving something small. And I believe that something small is actually one causing problems. How can we eliminate corruption is already another thing that we should be able to get interested in, because if at all we continue to talk about corruption without understanding the gist of the matter, then definitely we are just wasting our time. And that is where also really, I must say, as voters, as electorates, we should stop demanding for pocket change, but rather demand for services. And that is where, if at all, we are to vote for people. We should vote for people who can be able to also really address our matters, be it in the council, in the floor of council, be it in the floor of parliament. And other than that, we should avoid issues of asking for donations and also asking for money from these leaders. And that is one thing also really we have also really seeing public also up in arms over this controversial award that also really led to also really issues, and we are seeing also issues also really amongst these politicians in there as a result of that. And this is one thing also really we are saying voters must also really avoid putting the pressures on also really the people whom they also vote in there, because if they're not doing that, then definitely we are going to be seeing people still engaging in corruption. And if at all they get engaged in corruption, definitely that would also really mean a lot. And this is also really in terms of also really promoting corruption in there, and that is one thing at the end of the day I must say we should also really avoid, because if at all we are not avoiding that, definitely our leaders also really going to be also really engaging in that. And that is one thing also really where we are saying people must do that, and that is where we are leaving that discussion. And leaving that story aside, the soldiers' spouses urged to prepare for life after retirement is another story that we are seeing on the papers this morning, where the spouses of soldiers have been encouraged to consider life after their partner's retirement from active service. And definitely we are always saying behind every successful man there is a woman. Definitely if you marry the right woman as a soldier, socio-economic transformation is never going to be a problem, and this woman is actually going to be supporting your dreams. And they have now been warned against mismanagement of their finances, because sometimes if you marry a poor woman who has no ideas, when I talk about a poor woman, I mean one who lacks also really financial literacy, because one who lacks knowledge will also really be the one to bring you down. Look at the European history. Marie Antoinette also really, who was really one person where we did see her living an extravagant kind of life. Definitely such women will always bring you down. And this call was made by Colonel Joseph Freddy Onata, the Chief Executive Officer of Wazalendo Sacco, during the closing ceremony of a two-day training program at Entebbe Spouses also of Soldiers Sacco at Air Force Secondary School in Katabi Entebbe in there. And that is one thing which is happening. Onata reminded them about the importance of savings, shares and loan repayment, citing Wazalendo Sacco's success story, and warned against greed, poor leadership and dependence on donations, which can hinder the growth of the Saccos in there. And the spouses were also really reminded of also really the wealth of their husbands, and that's one thing also really we did see also really where they were also really reminded that the presidential support also fund was also really ongoing, which enables them also to access capital and start income generating activities, also really to improve their household incomes in there. And earlier the management of spouses also really of Soldiers Sacco received training from Wazalendo facilitators also really, and that's one thing we did see happening in there. And Entebbe Spouses Soldiers Sacco attracts members also really from spouses of soldiers from the UPDF, Air Force, Special Forces Command and Marine Brigade in there. And when we talk about the spouses, we are saying also as men we need to support also our women who went to the forces, because sometimes life after retirement may not be easy. We are saying always encourage investment of these monies, and this is a possibility. And we are saying always behind any successful spouse, I want to make it that way, there is always a brain behind. And if it is a man, it is a woman who is always behind that. If it is a woman who is successful, then definitely there is always that supportive man. And we are always saying that should be the case, and that's what we should honor as well as all times. And that is where we are coming to discussions close. But nonetheless, as always, we give you what is happening in the world of sports. And remember, in the world of sports, this weekend has been quite a busy one, where we did see the secondary school games slowly continuing over, that's in Koboko district. But more details into that will be coming through. That is with the whistle time with Owen Zaga together with Linda Susie, who will be here to give you more details to that. But really over the weekend also we did see our own West Nile side from Zombo district, that is by the Black Angels, already being promoted to the 4 big league side, also really after being also really after spending that last season also in the regional league in there, and now they are back into the 4 big league, which is the second tier of the Ugandan football. And now I believe the mission that is to the big league has now been achieved, because that has been their slogan of also during this period in there, where they have been saying the mission is the road. That is the FIFA big league, which I believe is now a reality after beating Northern Gateway by 2-0 yesterday. And that is where we did see also them being promoted to the second league, and now that means we are going going to be having more teams in the FA Big League. But how does that mean, and how should we support them? Definitely, I'm saying, as people of Western Sub-Region, we must support our teams, because it is us that also are going to be also promoting them, and that actually came with a lot of excitement. And I believe those who really watch the game must have had the very best of their time. And now we are going to be having very many teams notable. We shall be having ARUA Football Soccer Club, we shall be having Ondupuraga Football Club, not forgetting Midgo Calvary, and as well as Paida Black Angels from Western Sub-Region, representing in the second tier of the Ugandan football in there. In the top flight, we do not have any team, but our teams are going to be concentrated, that is mostly in the FA Big League. And more details will be coming through with the whistle time. Owen Zaga together with Nina Suzy, hopefully will be here from 2 to 3 p.m. And it being a Monday, definitely they have also compiled a lot right from Friday, and they will be giving you that. And now, before we get to move on, the Euros are still going on. Yesterday, England also, after trailing for a long period of time by a goal to nil, managed also to equalize and win the game against Slovakia in there, after beating Slovakia by 2 goals to 1 in there. And we did also really see Spain washing Georgia by 4 goals to nil, and that is also in relation to the Euros. Definitely more details to that will be coming through with the whistle time. And I want to stop here, and I want to thank you so much who watched us right from the time until this hour of the morning. I want to say thank you so much. We do not take your presence for granted, and we are always appreciative of your company from wherever you're watching us from. It could be within Western Sub-Region, it could be within Lango, it could be in Acholi, as well as Karamoja and the entire northern Uganda. We are saying we are always proud of you. What about my people from Western Uganda? It could be in areas of Masindi, it could be in Hoima, it could be in Fort Portal. We are always also really appreciative of you, and not forgetting those in central Uganda, in Buganda in particular, in areas of Kampala and Mpigi and Butambala, also at other areas also really within Buganda sub-region. We are saying we are always proud of you, and not forgetting my people in Eastern and the rest of the parts of the world. I always say Asante sana for watching Western TV. It's the Monday edition. We shall be bouncing back tomorrow for the Tuesday edition. Have yourselves a good day.